planet Earth, the only habitable celestial body up to date. Teeming with life, an abundance of resources, and rich biodiversity. Earth houses different organisms that live under the vast oceans, on terrestrial grounds, and even soaring upon the heavens. In this video presentation, we will be tackling about the importance of taking care of our planet and why should we answer the plea to help. Environmental issues has become the hottest debate and an undisputed fact that it affects our current living condition, affecting our livelihoods, our everyday living, our weather condition and health. Degradation of our natural resources such as those found in the seas, forest, and land. In the following segments, we will be able to know the reasons why we should be taking care of our environment and what could be the result of abusing our Mother Earth. Resource depletion is prohibited because our resources are easily depleted but take too long to be replenished. This is the cause of global warming. If the trees are cut or burned down, the stored carbon is released that contributes to the greenhouse gas effect, which traps and redistributes heat around the globe. This scenario can destroy the atmosphere that can result in climate change. Hence, we must take care of our environment because global warming and pollution can be a threat to our existence. The status quo of the environmental status takes a toll on the global scale. Everyone is affected by this phenomenon where we are experiencing pollution, global warming, and depletion of resources because of outrageous demands for certain products or services. Here are some of the environmental issues the world is facing at the moment. According to Climate and Clean Air Coalition 2019, 92% of Asia and the Pacific's population, about 4 billion people, are exposed to levels of air pollution that pose a significant risk to their health. In addition, the CoolAustralia.org stated that more than 30% of Australia's agricultural land is considered severely degraded. Rising salinity, where the salt in the ground rises to the surface due to over-irrigation and loss of native vegetation, currently costs Australia around $3.5 billion a year in lost agricultural production every year. The direct costs of salinity are expected to rise each year. There are many different causes for water pollution in different countries of Latin America, but one of the biggest found throughout many of the countries is dumping of sewage. In fact, more than 70% of sewage is dumped into water bodies. Many water bodies like river basins in Latin America are used for garbage and waste from mining and agriculture, most noticeable seen in Brazil. In summary, environmental issues is not only limited to another country or region, or even continent. The impact that it has affects everyone globally. At this juncture, let us take a glimpse of the environmental issues in the Philippines. The first picture shows climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. The second picture shows the effects of mining. Across the world, mining contributes to erosion, sinkholes, deforestation, loss of biodiversity, significant use of water resources, dammed rivers, and ponded waters, wastewater disposal issues, acid mine drainage, and contamination of soil, ground and surface water. The third picture shows the depletion of natural resources. Depletion of natural resources is the consumption of a resource faster than it can be replenished. The last picture shows the effect of air pollution. Long-term health effects from air pollution include heart disease, lung cancer, and respiratory diseases such as emphysema. Air pollution can also cause long-term damage to people's nerves, brain, kidneys, liver, and other organs. At this point, let us know what are the environmental issues that General Santos City is facing today. Hello and good day. We are here to tell you about the environmental problems in General Santos City. The citizens, because citizens do not understand simple laws such as proper waste disposal, or they are simply lazy to throw their garbage, and that is why we see waste or garbage everywhere. Have you ever wanted to know where the waste ends up? It ends up in abandoned buildings that are full of waste, or simply we call the waste as garbage. Not just abandoned buildings, also vacant lots, riverbanks, street sides, rivers, shorelines, and they also collect garbage in one location before burning or disposing of it, which can lead to air pollution, which is harmful to the environment because these materials release toxic chemicals. As you have heard, one of the environmental problems of General Santos City is their proper waste disposal. They resort to throwing their garbage on the side of the streets, abandoned buildings, and riverbanks. Another major problem is, according to the Oceans and Fisheries Partnership, are the present threats to biodiversity. Unregulated fishing, unregistered fishing boats, use of illegal gears and unsustainable fishing practices all affect and threaten the marine biome. Lastly, a more drastic problem is the water quality and supply. According to Minden News article 2019, the city government has raised concern over the high fecal coliform levels in a stretch of the coastal waters in Sarangani Bay, including a popular public beach in General Santos City. In concern with the water supply, according to Philippine news agency 2021, the citizens of General Santos City expressed disappointment since other parts of the city have insufficient water supply. So far, you have an idea of the severity of the impact of the aforementioned environmental issues on the global, national, and local scales. Here on out, we will be emphasizing the point on why should we be taking care of our planet. Hence, let us be enlightened on the biblical teachings of the Church on taking care of the earth. We are stewards, not masters of our earth. Each of us has a personal responsibility to care for the precious gift of God's creation. We show a respect for the Creator by our stewardship of creation. Care for the earth is not just an Earth Day slogan, it is a requirement of our faith. We are called to protect people and the planet, living our faith in a relationship with all of God's creation. This environmental challenge has fundamental moral and ethical dimensions that cannot be ignored.
How is the cry of the earth also the cry of the poor?
Pope Francis connects the earth's cry and the poor's cry in his encyclical Laudato Si. The cry is a metaphor with a lot of different meanings. It can refer to the sensations of pain and suffering, as well as the feelings of sadness and loss that provoke relief and sympathy. This mourning has been felt equally by the earth and the poor. The earth and the poor have equally endured these tears of lamentation. The cry is not just an expression of pain but also an appeal to responsibility. Thus, we need to take seriously the groaning of our ecology and humanity. In the context of climate change, global warming affects the whole world but it specifically affects the poor more. The poor people are vulnerable to exposure to disaster, as demonstrated by the Super Typhoon tragedy internationally known as Han, and locally known as Yolanda, that worsens the poverty of the already poor. The poor daily depend on the earth for their sustenance and livelihood. Moreover, they are mostly endangered in times of disaster. Because they are built of light and inexpensive materials, their properties are readily damaged or destroyed during disasters. Climate change, according to academics, is a matter of justice. As a result, they suggest climate justice as a means of spreading blame for global warming and finally accepting responsibility for the globe as a common home. How then can we save the earth in our own and simple ways? Here are some tips to help mitigate the severity of these environmental issues. Reduce, reuse and recycle your garbage. Always dispose of your garbage in the proper waste bin. Conserve water. You can also store rainwater and use it for cleaning. Shop wisely. Use reusable shopping bags instead of plastic bags. Save energy. Plug out devices that are not in use. Control energy consumption by putting time limits on usage. Volunteer for cleanup drives or in your community. And plant a tree to help combat climate change. The call to action has already been given. Are you ready to take the challenge? Save the earth, save lives.